to do was two things. It seems like just two, but they're really multi-level, right? So the first one was you were going to choose an equation, choose a system, and solve it all three ways. And the second one was to choose a system and solve it using graphing only. So what are the three ways that we solve systems of equations? Give me the first one. Graphing. Graphing, clearly, obviously, right? The second one, Marquise? Elimination. And then the third one? Substitution. So when I think about the word, just the word elimination, what does that mean to me? Just before we even talk about the notes on how it's relative to this whole concept, what does that word mean? Delete. Delete, get rid of, right? So as it's relative to this, now tie it in. What is it that I want to delete based on your notes and what you already know? What do I want to delete? One of the variables, right? When I delete one of the variables, what does it allow me to do? Find the value of the other variable. Then what happens? Take it and plug it in. And then find the value for the second variable. Now, the other thing I said was substitution. Yes? What does the word substitution mean? Not relative completely to this. What does substitution mean? To replace, right? When we first talked about this, we talked about someone coming in to substitute for whom? You. Me, as a substitute teacher. They come in and they take my place for the day. Yeah? So when we're talking about substitution as it's relative to this, what are we talking about specifically? Your pencils down, what are we talking about specifically? Someone other than here. What are we talking about specifically? If I want to substitute, yep, Ashton, talk to me.
Substituting a variable for an equation, kind of like.
Are we hold on. Substituting a variable for an It's not an equation. It is an expression. Gotcha. Okay. So we're going to substitute a variable for an expression. What's the first thing we need to do around being able to begin that process? Anybody? What's the first thing we need to do in order to begin that process? Take 30 seconds, look through your notes, and have a conversation with your neighbor. I'm coming back in 30 seconds. What's the question is? What's the first thing we need to do in order to begin the process for substitution? I got that. 30 seconds. Talk to your neighbor. Find it in your notes. All right, bring it back. You understand my voice like one? Understand my voice like one? What's the first thing we need to do, everybody, in order to begin substitution? Change it into slope-intercept form. So when we change it into slope-intercept form, what is slope-intercept form? What is that, Natasha?
Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. And in the sense that we're going to change it in order to do substitution, what is that? Y equals what? Some what? Y is going to equal to an nobody just came up with 2 seconds ago. Y is going to be equal to an expression. Yeah. You have that. Alright. So we're going to talk about the first two because you clearly have it. Yeah? We're going to talk about elimination and substitution first. You're going to volunteer, you're going to go up, and you're going to tell us which number you did. Then we're going to go into graphing. The rationale behind that is that after we've had this conversation, we will go over into our notes and have a brief conversation around this idea of functions. Functions? What's that? Trust and believe, you already know. It's not complicated. I promise. It's not as complicated as this. Alright? So what I'd like to do is have a person to volunteer, choosing which one you want first, substitution or elimination, and go up and work with us through the problem that you chose. Gary Anthony? I love you, Tab. Alright, so even if you got it wrong, that's cool, but he did a really good job with this one. So, the one that you chose was what?
Number 2.
Which one?
2.
The one that you chose was number 2. So what I want everyone to do so that we can all be on the same page and have a clear understanding as we go with him through this problem, everyone rewrite number 2 if that's the one you chose, or write number 2 if that's not one of the ones that you chose in your do now file. Everyone needs to do that now. And then tell us which of the 3 methods are you choosing to do.
Out of the 3, to do elimination.
He chose to do elimination. So next to that, next to the one where you wrote the system for number 2, yes? You're going to write the word elimination. And which variable did you choose to eliminate? Which one did you choose to eliminate?
X.
X.
Okay, it's right on.
I think that because this light is off, you're going to need that light on.
Can I see that? Can I see that?
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so the problem says 4x, yeah, 4x plus 8y equal 20. Then the second part of it is negative 4x plus y equals negative 30. So I know that when you line it up on the paper, you could just already eliminate 4x, the x, because you crossing out because it's a negative and a positive.
So what does that mean? I don't understand. Can you be a little bit more clear?
On what?
Okay, so you chose to eliminate x, and I missed some just because I was whispering in my little ear. You chose to eliminate x, and I'm hearing you say something about a positive 4x and a negative 4x. Can you, maybe I should just ask you to re-explain what you just said.
Well, we know when you have a negative 4x, a negative number and a positive number, and it's the same, you can just go ahead and eliminate it because it
It's the same what? It's the same what? What's the same?
What you mean?
Let me repeat back to you what I heard you say, okay? So that you might be able to see my confusion. You said, I know that when I have a negative 4x and a positive 4x, that I'm going to be able to eliminate those because they are the same.
Well, when you solve it, it equals 0.
So what was the same? My question still goes back to what was the same?
The solution.
What's the same?
Oh,
The what?
Numbers.
The absolute value of them? Oh, no. Then we go back to the What is the same with those? Anybody? Help them out. What's the same? The variable. Thank you, Ebony. The variable is the same. So you're absolutely right. The value of them is an absolute value that is the same. Yeah. And because the absolute value is the same, it does in fact equal 0. That was good, girl. Getting the cranks on that one. Alright, so you got a negative 4x and a positive 4x, but because those two cancel out, you're able to find a value of what? X?
0.
0. There are no x's there. Yeah? Okay, so go ahead from there.
Then you got 2 numbers with the second expression that is y, and they both you can just add them up and get your solution to it, and it's 8y plus 2y, and they give you 10y.
Okay, so let's go back and say that a little bit more clear because everyone else is already. He still has the 2 separate equations. Yeah? But in those 2 separate equations, he's combining the values for y. In the first equation, the value of y is what? How many y's here, Beyonce?
8.
8. And then in the second equation, the value for y is how many y's?
2.
2. And so 8y's plus 2y's is a total of how many y's? 10 y's. And then what did you do next?
And I did 10y, and then I subtract. I had to subtract the side of the equal sign.
Yeah.
Then I got negative 10.
Yeah.
Then I brought the rest of my problem down with negative 10 and the 10y's. Then I got 10y equals negative 10. Then I know, well, I had to balance it out, so I had to do 10y divided by 10y. And it gives me y.
Well, 10y should be 10y divided by 10. Because
you have to do 10y, get your variable back. So then you have to do it on the other side to balance it out. You have to do negative 10 and 10. would get 4x.
So slow down, because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, and we're not going to even go through the whole part of plugging in, just because what I wanted us to get was the whole idea of how to eliminate, yes? All right, so you hushed my face, and I did that. That was fine. You said I had 10y. Can I take you back just a smidgen, just for clarity? You said I had 10y, and you're probably going to want to be prepared to make some corrections. It's equal to negative 10x, yes? So I divided each side by 10. So as you guys are following along with Drjackson and taking these notes, he's dividing both sides by 10 and not 10y. Drjackson, why am I dividing by 10 and not 10?